shift, base hit, neck snap, true talk, no fluff, heat rise, act up, snap tight, step clean, eyes lock, scene mean, just Jackson Guest. Feel that beat drop, chest pump, don't stop, just Jackson Guest. Here comes fire, here comes heat, no retreat, on this beat, just Jackson Guest. Just Jackson Guest. Just Jackson Guest. Boom shakalaka boom shakalaka boom 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 boom.
Mind flip, spine stiff, word cut, gift shift, talk slick, move quick, clock tick, don't blink.
Just Jackson Guest. Boom shakalaka boom shakalaka boom. Just Jackson Guest. Boom shakalaka boom shakalaka boom.
More love with backbone, more safety, full grown, more respect when it's earned, more clients return, more stacks, more flow, more peace that we grow, more health in the grind, more wealth in the mind, more cheers from the crowd, more strong women loud, more worth that you feel, more power made real. Yeah,
just Jackson Guest. Here comes fire, here comes heat, no retreat, on this beat, just Jackson Guest. Just Jackson Guest. Just boom shakalaka boom shakalaka boom.
Boom shakalaka boom, hey boom boom, boom shakalaka boom, hey boom boom, boom shakalaka boom. Boom shakalaka boom, hey boom shakalaka boom shakalaka boom, hey boom shakalaka boom shakalaka boom. Boom shakalaka boom, boom shakalaka boom shakalaka boom, hey boom shakalaka boom.
Kick bounce, hi-hat, run, shoulders roll, sun up, baseline, waistline, heat rise, no decline. Just Jackson Guest. Boom shakalaka boom 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 boom. More love with backbone, more sun, boom boom. When the go, when the sun, don't run with the turn, more stacks, more flow, more blast in the turn, more just don't feel more shirt. More stacks in the crowd, more strong, more loud, more worth that you feel, more power made free.
Yeah, more drive, no style, more rise, stand tall, more force, no fear, more shit this year, yeah.
Just Jackson Guest.
Boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka.
And just like that, we're back. Hey, oh my gosh, I have missed everybody. If you are used to being here for Just Jackson Guest, it is every Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today's a little different for a couple different reasons. We were not live last week. Last week was my kidney donation surgery, and I am in full recovery mode. I am coming live from my bed. This is probably going to be the one and only time, at least I hope so, that you see me in bed during a live Just Jackson Guest show. So thank you guys for being here. The show is going to be amazing today. I'm so happy to be able to share Jacob and Ariel with you in a little bit. Dad's in the comments also. So many great people here in the house already. I've got just a few updates because, guys, it's been 2 weeks, man. I got some stuff to say. First and foremost, thank you, all of you, for the wonderful checking in and the text messages and the flowers. Bill Hobbs, you're amazing. The messages, the DMs, the audio messages, guys, I'm so far behind. I have found messages that came in the night of my surgery last Monday that who knows what I typed to people. So I apologize because I was pretty out of it. If you have not gotten a response, if you have sent those well wishes, the good juju, the prayers, please keep them coming from my dear Kevin. He is still in the hospital right now. If you watched 2 weeks ago, Kevin was my guest the week before surgery, and he is the recipient of my kidney. My kidney is just a little discombobulated in his body right now, so he was not released as early as we had expected him. His numbers got a little bit better today, so the doctors are hopeful that things are on the right track, but he can still use some love. If you're watching right now, Kevin, you know I love you and your family so much. What an experience, guys. I'm not going to lie. I feel a little guilty being out of the hospital and him still in there. It's intense. I don't know if you can really understand learning about somebody's health condition and knowing that you're part of the journey forever out there. It's a lot, and it's been an emotional ride for sure. This is the kidney pillow. So the transplant center we were at in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So if you're new to the show or you're just tuning in, we are in what's called West Michigan. So when we say Michigan, everybody puts up their hand and everybody thinks we're in Detroit over by the thumb. No, we're over here by the pinky. And the transplant center that we used, I was number 1,261 of living donors. So that means I was the person with that number that has done that center since they've been established for about 50 years. Now, Kevin's number was in the 3,000s because he actually was the recipient, and there's a lot more what they call deceased kidney donors than there are living kidney donors. So if you did not know, you can be a healthy live human and only need one kidney to survive. So that is what this is all going on. There's so many great people in the audience that have been part of this journey since October when I started it. So thank you for that. If you're kind of new to the show, this was not just an overnight decision. This was something that I had been working towards, working with the family, working with the doctors, going through multiple tests. I am, if you're just joining, yes, I'm in bed. This is not something normal for me, but the belly's still a little bit discombobulated. I'm not going to lie. I kind of felt like a rock star. Stopped taking all the different medication other than Tylenol. Not a shout out to Tylenol, but acetaminophen is the only thing I can take for pain anymore for the rest of my life. No ibuprofen, nothing like that. Stopped everything else on Thursday last week. So my body's just taking a little time to adjust and everything, but I am here. I am excited to show a whole different side tonight because our episode the last Monday before the surgery was Kevin and I and our dear friend Bob, who is just amazing. And I can't wait to get him back on to talk about like his business side of things. But we ended up talking more about even his wife's experience with kidney disease. Since I've been home, I've been doing a lot more research about kidney disease in general. And 89% of those needing a transplant are waiting for a kidney. It's so much more than any other type of donation needed, other than blood, I'm sure. And so if you're called to this through our story, check into the kidney donation situation for living donors, and or once you're deceased, consider possibly being a donor once your life is no longer in that beautiful body of yours, because you're not taking it anywhere with you. And there's so many other people that deserve quality of life. So if you want to ever talk offline on that, please let me know. Again, if you've sent me DMs, text messages, any of the things, and I have not gotten to you, it is not because I don't care. Guys, my brain can only tolerate so much at a time, and I've been trying to save all my energy today to make it through the show because Jacob and Ariel need all of your attention. They're so great. They're going to come on stage in just a second. But I do want to highlight a couple other things. Today is the last Monday of June. So if you didn't know, we had a little bit longer June with the Mondays here. And I've just been blessed to be able to have so many great guests on this month. And I am completely booked for July and August, completely booked. And if you're interested in being a guest on Just Jackson Guest, you got to reach out. And if you sent me a message a week ago, a month ago, and I haven't responded, it is because those spam messages just fill up my DMs and I just can't get to them all the time. I check 3 messages, I get 70 junk messages. I check 4 more messages, I get 50 more junk messages. So please reach out as long as it's an appropriate message and you're not just trying to sell me something. Because if you're selling me something on LinkedIn, that means that 700 other people are selling me the same thing. And if we don't have a relationship, you're just bogging me down. Get a chance to get to know me. Let me know I value you before we do any of that stuff. Guys, so many awesome people in the comments. Once Jacob and Ariel get to the stage, I'll start bringing up some of the comments because you guys are amazing. If you guys have questions for them already, make sure to start getting them popping so I can go through and watch them. Jacob is part of the newly released anthology, We Choose to Be More Than Our Diagnosis, Volume 2. This is with our amazing local publisher, Guiding Brilliant Writers, through Nick. And she's in the comments already. Thank you so much for being here. Nick has a book launch tomorrow. Her show at 6 p.m. She is going to be launching her new book that is Between the Bells. And I had to write this down. Lessons Learned Beyond the Books. This is between 13 and 17-year-old authors. Now, Jacob tonight, who's going to be on the show in just a couple of minutes, he is 16 years old. 16 years old, unless he's had a birthday since the last time I talked to him, which I don't think he did. Youngest guest ever on Just Jax. How cool is that? First time I've ever had a mother-son duo. I'm so excited about that. And we're going to get to them in just a second. Just a couple more things. Since this is the end of the month of June, When we visit each other again next Monday, it is going to be July, the second half of the year. We will have already celebrated in the US the 4th of July, the 250th anniversary. And when I say celebrate, be aware, okay? We have a complicated history from day one, and it's been even more complicated more recently. And so figure out what that means to you and figure out how we can try to get along in a better way, in a safer way for all of us to feel safe and welcome and not excluded and not scared and terrified and tortured and all the different things, because we deserve to really enjoy this life. We get one life, guys, one life. Let's make it as happy and healthy as possible. Let's try to figure out how we can support each other as much as possible. I also want to give a shout out to Bill William Rochelle. He is the amazing conductor of both my intro and my outro. If you've never watched Just Jackson Guest, you want to stay around for the outro. It's amazing. He makes me look phenomenal, and it just is so uplifting. It's a great way to transition into his show that starts right after mine tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern Central, or a few minutes after, depending on if I talk a little bit too much. But Bill also dropped a total bombshell on us this weekend. It was his birthday, and he acknowledged that he has been hiding a book himself. He released a book this weekend, so make sure you go to his page, check out his show, check out his book information. I did download the book. I have not had a chance to read it. The brain is not quite there yet, but lots of great, great stuff. So if you are in parts of the world right now where you are being hit with intense heat, earthquakes, war, violence, I am encouraging you to just take a little breath, give yourself some grace, and I am hopeful that you and your family are able to survive and are able to thrive through some of this. We have crazy heat in Michigan right now. We are not used to those extremes because it kind of takes a while to even warm up at all. We were kind of wearing sweatshirts and everything just a couple days ago. So the extreme heat is pretty intense up here right now, but I know that's in so many other places. So if you have anything that you want to share in the comments to kind of shout out other people, to give them some support along the way, to encourage them to take care of themselves or to make sure that they're doing okay, I would love that in the comments tonight, because we're all here to support amazing things that Jacob and Ariel are going to share, but we're also here because we want to be. We could be doing anything else in the world right now. Some of you guys are coming in from other time zones. Sadie, look at you. Oh my gosh. We just became friends like yesterday because she and I are connected forever through my son and his soon to be mama of his baby. We had the gender reveal yesterday. So excited. Do you want to guess? Did you see my post today? Do you think I'm going to have a granddaughter or a grandson in December? Guess real quick and I'll tell you. Okay, I'm ready to bring Jacob and Ariel on. They are amazing. I think Jacob might be able to talk faster than me, so we'll see, but make sure you're putting it in the comments. Do you think it's boy, girl, boy, girl? Okay, Bill Hobbs, he guessed girl. I wonder why he guessed girls. It is a girl. I am going to be a grandmother of a baby girl. It's amazing. It's exciting. So happy. All right. I'm ready to get these beautiful humans up on the stage. Get those questions ready because they deserve to hear all the things that you want them to talk about. So we kind of talked about, do we do this? If you're new to Just Jackson Guest, I usually bring up one guest, talk to them, boom, they're gone. The next guest come up because this is a mother-son duo. They are coming up together. And that is at Jacob's request. So here they come. Hey, Jacob.
What up, Jackie? How you doing?
I'm wonderful. Hello, Ariel. How are you?
Hi, doing great.
Doing great. I love it. Thank you guys so much for being here. Oh my gosh, Jacob, I read your chapter. Loved it so much. The fact that you are nonverbal, head exploding. We're going to get into all of that in a minute. Always going to start with my first three questions, but I do want to give a shout out to your mom because before I even knew you were in the book, I saw you on Dr. Tanya's show. And I was like, how do I not know this lady? But that last name sounds familiar because Jacob had already connected with me and I was starting to see his business stuff. And I'm like, how can one human have so many different stuff going on? And I'm like, 1 + 1 is equal and 2 + 2 is equal and 4. Boom. Now I know you guys and you are on my show. Oh, I'm so happy.
Excited to be here.
Yay. And Dad's in the comments I already saw. So thank you so much for being here. I'm like, thank you for sharing your family with us because we're going to have them tonight. Oh my gosh. Are you guys ready for my questions? Jacob, do you want to take the first one or do you want to defer to Mom the first time?
All right, I'll take the first few questions.
All right. The first question is all about you. Jacob, in your 16 years of living, what are 2 things that you are super excited or proud of that you have done yourself?
All right, so 2 things that I'm very proud of right now are becoming an author and illustrator and writing 4 self-published books. One of them is The Missing Voice, which is a memoir about how I had trouble talking at a young age and had to get help through numerous doctors, therapists, and teachers to help find my voice and my way. I also have 2 other books known as The Adventures of Even Steven and Dr. Oddman out. It's about these 2 twin brothers. One of them's a superhero, one of them's a supervillain, and they both have math superpowers. And I wanted to create the book for elementary school kids because I found math challenging at a young age and had teachers who made it fun throughout numerous fun techniques and rhymes. And I thought, what if I could write books about math for children and deliver fun superhero characters at the same time? And I also have my chapter book memoir. It's known as Don't Give Up with Jacob, and it dives deeper into my life. It explains how I was originally diagnosed at a young age as developmentally delayed, but then we did some moving and I had a doctor's appointment, and that's when I got diagnosed with autism. And it dives deeper into the experiences I had with tough teachers in school, bullying, and fun little experiences. And the other thing I'm super proud of is my podcast series, Don't Give Up with Jacob. And on my podcast, I like to talk about things such as what it's like living with autism, some struggles that I've had, some fun experiences, and I even get to connect with guests on my show, and I connect with them, ask them questions, and have a nice conversation about what they've been through in their lives. And we sometimes have some similarities with each other. And those are just 2 things that I'm very proud of. And I definitely see them going very far in the future for myself and my family and career as well.
I love that so much. Like, I remember being a little girl, Jacob, and seriously, oh my gosh, I did so much reading at a young age, and I was reading books that probably a young girl should not read. I mean, books that were this big. My mom gave me Gone with the Wind and The Exodus and all these kind of books because they were just there, and why not read them? And I always pictured myself as an author. And darling, I did not become a co-author until what, 4 years ago, 3 years ago. And it's like, you are 16 years old. You are like living my childhood dream so much earlier than I ever did. So I'm so proud of you. And I love so much that you recognize that that is something you should be proud of. And thinking about the podcast, like, I've been doing my show now for about 15 months, and I would have never started it without my dear friend Damian Kinsey. You know, he kind of hyped and we did some stuff before, but there are still people older than me, my age, twice as old as you, Jacob, that are terrified to even put their face on screen as a guest. Like, I've had a lot of people that are like, oh, I really want to be on your show. And as soon as I tell them it's live, it's not pre-recorded, they're like, no, we're not going to do it, but I appreciate it. I'll support you. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I'm like, they're terrified. They're terrified. And here you are, not only live on other people's shows, you are doing your own thing. I'm so impressed with you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Let's switch it over to Mama. Ariel, this is not a, oh, I'm so proud of my son and my husband question for you. You got this? Let us hear 2 things you are proud of that you have accomplished about yourself, Mama.
That's a hard question because I'm proud of Jacob.
I know you are.
Yeah, that's basically what, a lot of life has revolved around, is supporting him and making sure that he's, being able to reach his potential. I am really just proud of him. I'm proud of all the things that he's accomplished and that he wants to accomplish. So that's what I basically go to work for each day and do, is to find ways to make his dreams a reality. And that gives me happiness and fulfillment. It makes me feel, like we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. I don't know.
I love that. But we're
Yeah,
not getting you off the hook with that, Mama. Okay.
that's okay.
I know a lot of parents, so I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually have been an elementary school counselor, and I have done a lot of school programs in the school. And then I also work with kids that are involved in the court system. And there are a lot of moms and dads and grannies and aunties and caregivers that are so lost. They don't even know how to support their child, whether there is a mental health, a physical health, a cognitive issue, or any of the things. But you actually work in the schools and are a mother. So, honey, there are things you have accomplished to get to this far way before Jacob was even born. So let's back it up and figure out 2 things that you are proud of yourself for.
So I am proud of the fact that my first master's degree was in elementary education, and then my second master's is in special education. So I always taught special education, even before Jacob was born. And I taught in the elementary schools always. And I taught all ages, every grade, the whole school. I supported them from beginning to end, through the evaluation process, through getting an IEP, getting a diagnosis, making sure that the goals aligned with what needed to be taught and accomplished each year, updating it every annual review. Every year that it came due, we would update it and talk about the achievements and how successful or areas of need that they still needed. So I was involved, pretty heavily in the school system, figuring all those things out and navigating the whole process, in addition to being the teacher of the students as well. But then on the flip side, when it came time for being the parent, even though I knew what to expect in the school situation, I did not necessarily know how to navigate the world as a parent. And so that was difficult and frustrating for me, because when Jacob first started showing signs of regression, he was only 17 months old. And I did not know how to navigate that, because it was earlier than elementary school years. So I didn't know who to contact, who to call, who to ask for support or assistance. And so I learned through research, through asking questions, doctors, anybody that I could think of to ask at the time. For me, in the state that I was living in at the time, it was called early intervention. So something to look out for, if anybody finds that their child, whether it's their own child or somebody they know or a relative of theirs, if they have anything that they're concerned about, they should look into what it's called in their state to find that early support.
Oh, that's amazing. Ariel, how dare you not even come up with 2 master's degrees in the beginning? I'm like, girl, I got 1 and that was enough for me. I'm going to tell everybody in the moon and back that I had that. You have 2, and you're just like, I'm proud of Jacob. Of course you're proud of Jacob. You birthed him. You get to watch his success day by day. I love that you finally tuned it back into you. And Jacob, kudos, because you and I both stayed quiet the whole time she talked. Look at us go. Oh, your mom is amazing. I want you to really understand this, Jacob. Thousands of parents that I work with, okay, thousands, very educated parents, parents that are just overwhelmed, parents that have never enjoyed their own schooling, and everywhere in between. And the fact that mom can hold it together for her education and do that, but also admit it's different when you're on the other side of the table. If you've never been into what's called an IEP, an individual educational plan for somebody with special education needs, it's usually 1, maybe 2 parents and anywhere from 6 to 18 staff at the school.
Right.
And it's intimidating. And I don't care how many degrees you got. I don't care how old your child is. It is intimidating when now it's your baby that's being discussed. And I just want to give your mama a super big shout out for that, and for you to realize what a rock star you have sitting next to you, because some families, the parents and caregivers, they get overwhelmed. And when they get overwhelmed, they either present as a little bit angry, or they just kind of disappear and just like, it's out of my hands now. And I'm so proud of you guys both for being here. So back to you, Jacob. Now, 16 years old, you've already accomplished a lot more than I've even accomplished with all those books and everything. But what is one area that you're still growing in, or one more thing you want to accomplish before too long?
All right, so there are numerous things I want to accomplish with my everyday life, especially before I hit the age of like 50, 60, 70, or possibly even 80. I want to accomplish making merchandise off of the fictional characters I create for future children's books to impress children, teens, and adults. I also want to accomplish making my own TV series based off my creations. And I also want movies and a giant balloon in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, since I love the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and especially those giant balloons. They're just so awesome, especially since they're flying high in the sky, and I thought it would be cool to have my own balloon flying high in the sky above the streets of New York City. And I can even go to New York City to see it up close and in person. And I've also been inspired by numerous children's TV shows and especially lots of animated movies to create my own books for children, teens, and adults that will one day become those awesome animated TV shows and movies for all children, teens, and adults to enjoy. However, it won't be easy because there's going to be some struggling and frustration and especially overwhelmness along the way, but we will push through it because we just gotta find the right people for the job, keep on trying, and always believe in ourselves and follow our dreams, because that will get us really far, and that will especially help us accomplish goals that we want to achieve in life before it's too late. And I think that's very important for everyone to know.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. You know, Jacob, you're going to have to go back and I know you'll check the comments, but you've got so many of your co-authors are in the comments cheering you on. I know because I've written with Nick too. I've been in two of her anthologies and she gets the co-authors together and you support each other, but you're also learning about each other as you're learning about yourself. But so many of us, we have like a start end goal. Okay, I'm going to learn about this. I'm going to start my podcast. I'm going to do this. You're talking about expansion in so many different ways that, oh my gosh, if people could just understand the capacity that we have in our brains to think more, to do farther, to explore and expand. Like seriously, if you guys aren't connected with Jacob already, he does have his own LinkedIn account. Follow along with him. He's always promoting positivity. Don't give up with Jacob. Don't give up. Don't let this set you back. He was doing that to me even on your bad days, Jackie. You keep it up. And I'm like, thank you. I'm in the hospital, but okay, thank you. And it was such good positivity. And you are by far the only person in 15 months that has said one of your goals is to get a Macy's balloon. Hello. I mean, you're not just, I want to get my books into movie. I want to get, you're talking about action figures and this. And I'm like, y'all heard it here on Just Jackson Guest. This man is going places and we are along for the ride with you, Jacob. It's inspiring and it is motivating. And I hope that even if one person tonight can remind themselves that you're not limited, go get that doggone balloon. Go get that action figure in your name or whatever your thing is, keep going for it. So Jacob, thank you for bringing so much light and love. And it's just like, even just your face just radiates it. And I'm just so proud of you for all of you've done already and just the goals you have. And thank you for not saying, oh, when I get old, when I'm 50. So thank you. You just said, when I get to those ages, I'm like, please don't call me old. Please don't call me old. So good job.
Oh, thank you. Anytime at all. You betcha.
You're awesome. Ariel, what is something that you are personally working on, a growth area or something you're still wanting to learn for yourself?
Well, one day I'd like to write a book or even be a co-author. So maybe shout out to Nick. Maybe I'll join one of her anthologies one of these days and write something myself.
So she did share that she'll be announcing pretty soon I believe it'll be her fourth legacy book is coming out soon, or she's going to start promoting it soon. Girl, do you got a legacy already? I mean, even if it's something you want a chapter, but I know like Dr. Tanya, you and her have been together on shows and stuff, and she's wrote parenting books and different things. There are so many different layers of all of our individual knowledge and experiences that every one of us should have probably as many books as Jacob, but so many of us don't take that time to do it. And so getting that energy from Jacob and reminding us that, hey, we should take time to do what we want. I mean, mama job is important, wife job is important, teacher job is important, all the things, but taking time for Ariel is also very important. So I'm excited, and I will make sure I buy that book as soon as it gets on that shelf for sure. So Ariel, I'm going to flip to you a minute. Last question I have, and then I'm going to turn the stage over to the two of you to kind of talk about some of the cool things that we've already hit on, but also stuff we don't want to miss. Ariel, if you could go right now, whether you take Jacob and Brian, anybody else, whether you go all by yourself, because I do solo tripping, where would you go right now if you could go on vacation?
Maybe I'd go back to New York. I'd like to see a couple of Broadway shows.
Ooh, I love that. Wouldn't it be cool if you could time it while the balloon's up in the air for the parade and all the cool stuff?
Yep, that would be an experience.
Do you have a show that you just would like to see more than any of them?
I don't think so. I'd just like to see many.
I love that. Oh, thank you. I hope you get to New York before too long. How long has it been since the last time you've been there?
We haven't been there for over 9 years.
Well, I have never.
Our family relocated, so everybody's here, or nearby. So there hasn't been any opportunity to get back, but we're going to get there. Jacob's going to find a way to get us all there. So one of these days.
I love that so much. Jacob, so your turn. My very last official question for you, and I do see we've had a couple questions in the comments, and then I get to anything you guys want to talk about. If you could go anywhere right now, whether it's with mom and dad, whether it's with the school trip, whether it's to promote some of your stuff, where would you want to travel to right now if you could go?
All right, so there are numerous places I'd like to travel, both in the United States and even other countries outside the United States. But if they're at least my top 3 to 5 places I'd want to go someday, those would be places like Canada or Minnesota, Pennsylvania, Norway, or even Russia, or possibly even Sweden or Japan, or even Korea. Those places seem very interesting, and I want to learn all about their culture and what the people are like there and some traditions that they have. And I thought it would be very, very interesting to check out other places, including other US states, other countries outside the US. And I especially imagine going on book tours where I get to promote my books that I write and illustrated for children, teens, and adults across other US states and possibly other countries as well, because that will definitely accomplish my goals and dreams of exploring the world and the US in general. So one of the sole reasons why I wanted to become an author and illustrator was to share my creativities with kids, teens, and adults worldwide in other US states and other countries. So that's what I really hope to accomplish someday, so I could check out all these great places that I haven't checked out yet and can make my dreams possibly come true one way or another.
I love that so much. So if you schedule that book tour anywhere in Michigan, but especially the west side of Michigan, remember over here, I can lock you into a bunch of schools. I know some contacts at libraries. We got you, okay? And if you did not know, Jacob, I have been to all 50 states already, and I have done 26 of them by myself. So I got some hookups in a few other places too, but not as much as I do Michigan. But I am so excited to be along for that journey for you. And I was wondering, like with your books right now, are they all mostly like centered like in your city or your area, or did you make up different like worlds or different countries that they're in?
I'm not exactly sure. I want to say that, especially with my fictional books, some take place in actual US states or cities, and some of them I want to take place in their own little world of creativity, whatever my brain thinks of doing, because I have a crazy imagination and I imagine all these stories taking place in other US states or possibly other countries, or maybe just in my own little imaginative world,
Hmm.
because that's the beauty of children's books, because each children's books or even teen and adult books each have different settings. Like they could take place in the US or another country, or even in another world or another planet. And that's the beauty of having settings in the book. And whatever my brain thinks of, I just want to be creative and write it down or draw it or create a fun little story about it. So that's what really inspires me to create such fun stories for everyone to enjoy, because what would a story be like without a setting anyway, if I have to be honest?
I know, right? I love that. So as I'm listening to you talk, Jacob, I'm thinking about one of your co-authors, Leslie Flowers, who actually designed her world for her book Errata, which she published a little over a year ago. And she had been visualizing that setting of her book for decades, like decades. And so I love that you're like, whenever my brain decides, and that's what it's going to come up in, because that's what we need to do, Jacob, is we've got to use our creativity. Otherwise, as we get older, I see this with so many people, and I'm certain I did it too. It's like, we're like all those fun things that our brain told us when we were younger. We're like, after I go to work, after I pay the bills, okay, now I'm too tired. Now this happened. Now this happened. And it's like, keep that energy going, and then you won't become as aged as some of us get so much quicker. So I love that so much. So we had a question that is kind of an intense one. Are you ready for an intense audience question already, Jacob?
All right, bring it on. I think I've got this.
All right. What are some of the biggest obstacles you have overcame?
All right, so there have been numerous obstacles that I have overcame, especially with stuff like getting along with others
Mhm,
and getting along with some of the teachers in my
mhm,
school, and especially getting along with some of my other classmates or some of the other students in middle school. Like I've been through some tough times
Yeah.
with mistreatment and bullying, unfortunately, especially back in middle school. At first, when I was being mistreated and bullied, I had no idea what was going on, and I had no idea that I was even being bullied. I thought these people back in middle school were trying to be some of my friends and get along with me, but
Hmm.
little did I know this was actually mistreatment and bullying, and not okay under any circumstances in my book. So I just need to learn the difference between friendships and bullying, because those are two separate things. Like if you get along with other people who know and understand you, those people can truly be your friends. But if you have someone who's mistreating you, making fun of you, or even daring you to do stuff you don't feel comfortable with,
Hmm.
those people shouldn't be your friends. And I've especially been through bullying with even the teachers, where back in kindergarten they mistreated me, and I just didn't know how to explain it to my parents. And it wasn't until one day where they found out that the teachers were locking me inside a super dark room in kindergarten, and they were shocked by this. They couldn't believe what the teachers were doing to me,
Hmm.
and this really scared me. Like I had no idea what was going on. Like, why were the teachers doing this to me? Especially, why were they doing this to a kindergartner? Because this is like super serious. I thought I would never see light at the end of this extremely dark tunnel. But fortunately, we were able to work it out. I was able to push through the tough times, learn from my experiences, learn very valuable life lessons, improve my skills and improve my brain, learn and grow more and more. And that's what really helped me get through these tough obstacles, because it's good to improve your skills and learn more about certain things, because that will definitely help you learn, grow, and mature like all young adults should, in my book.
So, Jacob, oh my gosh, I just want to unpack so much. First of all, I need the listeners to understand Jacob got no questions in advance except for the what are the two things you are proud of? What is one area you're growing and where do you want to travel to? Like I'm just throwing this at him and it's so articulate, Jacob. And that's the thing. It's like people don't use their voice enough. We are told we're not important enough. What we have isn't valued. You're just a kid. We don't want to hear you. Not right now. Oh my gosh, please, if you're listening right now, tell a young person, tell an older person their voice is valuable. Look what comes out of that. Jacob, you're amazing. And absolutely, I mean, it is heartbreaking. Leah's saying that is terrible. The things you went through from educators, dude, you could be so bitter right now. You could not even want to talk to another adult ever again. Mom, you could not want to trust working in a school system or advocating or letting him out of your sight. How have you accomplished some of these obstacles without being so bitter and being still wanting to see the light? If you would mind touching on that.
Well, let's backtrack also for a minute and remind everybody that Jacob was nonverbal for a period of time, and then he was only minimally verbal. So when he got into kindergarten, he was just minimally verbal, which means that I didn't know all of these things that were really happening to him. I found out in kindergarten by accident one day that the teacher called and said, Jacob is misbehaving. And I said, I've never heard this before. He went to preschool for over 3 years in a specialized program, and nobody ever told me any of these negative things about him. I'm not saying everybody is perfect or, things happen, but I never heard to the extent that the teacher was describing. So I knew something was wrong. But again, each day Jacob would come home, and the only things that he could say to me were, I would say, how was kindergarten today? And he would say, I was scared, lonely, and sad. Kindergarten is no place for me. That's all that I got every single afternoon. And every morning I would hand him 5 jelly beans and I would say, today is a new beginning. It's going to be a sweet day. You're going to be great. Everything's going to be fine. I love you. Have a great day. And in the afternoon, I would ask him again, and it was the same answer. So I knew things weren't going well. Fast forward to recently, Jacob obviously is way more communicative and verbal and, able to describe things. So I didn't know the extent of kindergarten until about a year ago when he wrote his chapter book memoir and described in full completion what had truly happened to him in kindergarten. So heartbreaking. I don't know how I sat on the other side of the table. If I knew then the extent of what I knew now, I'm not so sure what direction things would have gone. But there have been, throughout Jacob's life, teachers that have been really wonderful and supportive. They restore faith and hope in the system and in educators that choose to go down this path. Because being a special educator, being a teacher is a huge job. Shout out to all the teachers and then the special educators and the staff that works with the special population is even more in depth. Sometimes you have a lot of pushback and a lot of, difficulty in that area. And sometimes you have a lot of support and people that will help you along the way. So to know that I had to sit across the table on good days and bad days, or with decent staff that supported Jacob and then staff that, were not really seeing his full potential and were negative, it was challenging. It's definitely been a roller coaster ride. We've had, a lot of ups and downs, and it's very difficult to sit across the table from people that, might be doing similar things to what I'm doing or what I've been doing throughout the years. And, always feel like you can smile and nod or agree with what they're saying, but you have to, try your best. And sometimes there were times that I even reached out to an advocate because I did not know how to say things, not only as his parent, but, to be professional and get what Jacob truly required.
Oh. Um, whew.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So much feels right now. Part of me is just like, I can visualize you sitting at this table and trying to put your professional hat, mom hat on, and then feeling like you've been blindsided by the people that are educated like you to take care of our babies when we're not there with them. But yet, I
Mm-hmm.
I feel you as well. Teachers do not go into the profession to put kids into closets or to hurt them or let bullying goes on. But if they do not become aware, they do not understand, they do not know how to control their own responses, or they don't get support from administration, bad things happen in classrooms. And Jacob, the fact that you are just overflowing with all this positivity to help other humans, this is, you should have never experienced that. First of all, never, whether you were verbal or nonverbal, you should have never experienced that. But the fact that you don't want other kids to have to be sad and think about all those kind of things as well, by turning into these amazing books you're doing and the positivity, I mean, you are more elevated than so many humans that get stuck with a really rough situation in life, two or three not so good things in life. Some adults can't even move past that. They get so unable to understand their own trauma or unable to ask for help in a way that can heal them. And it's like, I almost just want to sit and just write down word for word from like the day you became verbal. How did you do this? How did you do this? So we can make sure other people learn some of the tools you had, Jacob. And it's not, I want to give your mom and dad all the kudos because they deserve them. They 100% deserve them. However, I know 5 million amazing parents and caregivers that are also wonderful that they do not have children, whether they are considered in special education or not, that have the amazingness that you have in your soul and the drive you have in everything. And so to the parents listening, don't judge yourself, okay? But start learning. If you feel like you're lost, find your support people, your advocate people. And if you are feeling overwhelmed with where your child is right now, look at Jacob. There's change, there's hope, there's all kinds of cool stuff. Don't give up on yourself, mom or dad or granny or caregiver or teacher or child. Jacob, I want to turn it over to you because everybody wants to hear more from you. I just want to keep talking because I want to thank you guys so much and everything. But I want to turn it over to you. And really, there's some other stuff you wanted to share on the show tonight, or things that are important in your heart right now. What do you want to share with everybody else tonight while we're here?
All right, so I just want people to know that I want them to check out my books, and I also want them to appreciate all the hard work and effort that I put into writing and illustrating, because I did this all by hand with stuff like markers, pencils, and even crayons. And I just want people to take the time to appreciate all my hard work and all the effort and skills that I put into my books, especially with some books, including my children's books and my chapter books. Those are some that I definitely want people to be pleased by. And I also want people to check them out. They're available on www.don'tgiveupwithjacob.com, my website, where they'll also check out my merchandise store. I'm selling merchandise, and I'm selling stuff like shirts, hats, hoodies, mouse pads. There's all kinds of stuff I'm selling, and I just want people to appreciate everything that I'm doing, especially with my website, writing and illustrating. They should also check out my podcast, Don't Give Up with Jacob, on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, especially with some of the guests I've had. I've had some nice conversations with guests that I've connected to, and that's
Jacob,
how I
if other
spread
people want
my
to join,
awesome messages.
if people want to join and be a guest on your show, they can also connect with you or reach out to you. He loves talking to people and sharing any experiences that they want to have a nice conversation about. So I just wanted to share that as well.
I love
All
that.
right, I
love that.
definitely do.
So David Causey is usually the very first one to log into the show every single week. So he was so excited that you guys are on the show. He is also an artist, Jacob, and he wants to know about some of your favorite illustrations. Of course, he'd like to show it, but I didn't even think about posting any of that. And Jacob, talk a little bit about, I mean, I'm sorry, but there is so much AI out there that it's almost like I don't know if somebody really made that anymore or didn't make that. And you're saying you do it by all yourself. You do it with the different coloring, like crayons and different markers and stuff. What is some of the favorite things that you like to draw or ways you do draw it?
All right, so I was inspired by numerous books such as Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Pete the Cat, especially some Dr. Seuss books and Clifford the Big Red Dog books. And they don't use computers, they don't use laptops, they don't use tablets, they don't use AI, none of that. They use either markers, paints, pencils, or pens, and they do it all by hand. And those were the children's books that I've been inspired by, and that's what really inspired me to use my hands, to use pencils and markers and pens instead of AI, because I want to be a professional author like Dr. Seuss, or even famous poets from back in the day like maybe Edgar Allan Poe, and they've written some great stories, especially back in the 1930s or 40s or 50s. Even in the 2000s, they've written some great books for children, which children can be inspired by themselves if they want to become author and illustrators and draw their own stuff. And I like to draw numerous things such as fun characters. I like to draw instruments such as guitars, bass, drums, keyboards. I also like drawing certain foods such as pizza, chicken, burgers, fries, and I also like drawing markers, and I also like drawing um, beautiful things such as certain animals. And I just find it very soothing and relaxing because art has always been a big part of my life since day one of my life, in a high chair with crayons and paper.
That's how
And
you
art,
communicate.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's also how I communicate. It's one of my superpowers and some of my biggest skills, even to this day. Um, that's why I always keep art in my
Pictures
life.
and then music. Those were his first ways of communicating.
That's right. Art and music have always been a big part of my life, and they always will be.
Can you tell us about the music? Were you able to sing without talking, or would you turn to certain songs and like dance to them to express yourself? How was music part of your communication?
In the
All right,
beginning, yes.
so
Go ahead.
music has always been a big part of my life, just like art. It doesn't matter if it was dancing to certain songs I heard on the radio,
Hmm.
even singing certain songs. In fact, there was this one time where it was my pre K graduation,
Hmm.
and we practiced all the words to a special graduation song from pre K, and I even got to say a certain line. I got to say, "Hit it, Mr. Mike," in front of all the graduates, teachers, and families in my preschool during graduation. It took a lot of hard work and practice to be able to say that, but eventually the more we practiced, the more my skills improved. Not
Hmm.
only was I able to sing my graduation song, I also got to say, "Hit it, Mr. Mike," in
That's
front of
right.
everyone in the entire school. And I
Hmm.
couldn't have felt more proud to say that out loud. And that's why music will always have a place in my heart, even if it's singing along to certain songs that I love, or
Hmm.
even dancing to certain songs that I hear on the radio.
Yep.
Music has always been with me and always will be.
Hmm.
I love that so much. So Rob wants to know what your favorite band is, and Bill wants to know what your favorite food is.
Go ahead, Jacob.
Yeah, I have a lot of favorite foods, especially pizza, especially steak, especially fried chicken sandwiches and salads just to be healthy. I also like chocolate cakes, chocolate cupcakes, chocolate ice cream. And as for bands, I like a certain rock band known as Weezer. They are a
Mhm.
rock band from the 90s, and they're still going strong to this day. And I especially love listening to their music when I exercise because it helps me get all my thoughts and emotions out, and it also helps get all my energy out. And music can make you feel a lot of different ways. Music can make you feel like you want to run, jump, and skip around, or music can make you feel very calm. And that's one of the great things about music, in my opinion. And
Mhm.
that's why the world definitely needs music, so it wouldn't be boring, it wouldn't be bland, because music is one of the biggest things to exist. And I definitely always love to keep music in my life, and that's how it will always be.
I love that so much. Oh my gosh. Jacob, you were an absolute joy. I knew this was going to be good, but it's like you never know how good it's going to get until we get rolling. And then I'm like, "Oh my gosh." And these guys are so wonderful because they were actually scheduled for last week Monday. They were scheduled for almost a month, 5, 6 weeks out. And then I got the news of the surgery being last Monday, and they so graciously switched days. And sometimes, guys, things are meant to be. It's like, who knows, if surgery wasn't last week and we had you on next week, maybe different people wouldn't have shown up in the audience. Maybe Jacob wouldn't have talked about some of this stuff. You couldn't have shared better tonight, Jacob. And I'm not just saying that, okay? I didn't know what direction you were going to take things. The hour goes by so fast, but I think every single person listening today, those that are going to listen to the replay, are going to learn, number one, not to give up on themselves,
Mhm.
that anything is possible, that change can happen, that you deserve to be happy no matter how people have treated you. And I'm going to say this on mom's behalf and dad, who's in the audience, our support people matter. Even while we're growing through things, and maybe if we're not able to communicate the exact way we want, maybe if we are going through a violent phase or something, the people that surround themselves with us, they make an impact on our success. And I cannot thank your mom and dad enough. I cannot have think enough of the great comments that we've had tonight. Um, I think we're all going to step back and take a look at ourselves a little bit more after this discussion, Jacob. Like you remember authors' names and years and stuff that I'm like, man, I forgot about when those were around. By the way, loved Clifford the Big Red Dog myself. I think that was one of the things that really prompted me to love reading as well. Just the fact that a monster dog could be so adorable, I love animals though too. But I think we're going to reflect. I think we're all going to reflect a minute and say, what do I still want to accomplish? Because you would put it out there when I'm 50, 60, 80, or older. Why can't we all be thinking about that when we are a little older than you, Jacob? Thank you so much for sharing all that. I want to turn it over to your mom a minute. And mom, Jacob spoke very well. I mean, he covered all the bases. Was there one or two things that you wanted to make sure that people knew about Jacob or the education system or the creativity that we heard from Jacob tonight that maybe we didn't focus on enough or that we didn't cover?
No, I mean, we couldn't have done it without the support staff, and just I kept researching. I refused to give up. I refused to accept no. They told us never. Don't expect Jacob to speak. Don't expect Jacob to do anything. Don't expect him. No potential. They basically gave us no hope. And he obviously has defied all of those odds that were stacked up against him. And we're just so proud of him and all that he continues to do and how he inspires us each and every day. He's really our superhero. We're so proud of him. But there's a lot more to come from Jacob. He is creating nonstop, and he's hopefully going to continue to be a name that people see and know and find, in the world. So I
There's
hope they use his voice for all types of wonderful things.
No way in the world his voice is not going to be heard by everybody. I have complete faith in you, Jacob. Jacob, make sure you go back into the comments and you put a link to your website. I know Nick did and I did, but we want to make sure it comes from you too. And if there's other things that people you want to share with people, any of your podcasts, how to sign up for it, feel free to do that as well. Guys, support Jacob and support Ariel and support people that are in the comments tonight. They are here because they want to learn about new people or support people they already know. And you may be in that hot seat someday or wanting that support, or maybe you decide to come up with an invention or be creative like Jacob. You're going to want your tribe around you. So this is how it starts, by coming to things like this, by reading people's books, by going to their website, by buying a hat. Now, those aren't my kind of hats, Jacob, but I am going to check your merch department because I want to get stuff before you jack up the price when you are a household name across the whole globe and everything. I want to be like, he was on my show first. He was here, remember? I would also love to make sure that you come back sometime, maybe the beginning of the year or so. Let us know what it's been like when you're going to be a junior in high school next year. What is it like getting through almost the end of your schooling? What other things have you accomplished? Let's definitely keep in touch. And Jacob, if there's one last thing you want to share with the audience before we close out the show, I want to turn that over to you. And thank you again for being here, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for having me, Jackie. I really had a nice time talking to you, and I hope we definitely get to connect again one of these days. It would be my pleasure to connect with you again, and especially have the awesome opportunity to get to do this again in the future. Thank you.
I love this. Oh my gosh. Such a fast hour, guys. Such a fast hour. Such a joy. Love you both so much. Thank you for being here. It's been wonderful. And I've learned even more about you. I'll see you guys soon. I'm going to drop you both down and end the show. I'll see you guys.
Thank
All
you.
right, peace. Later.
I just cut him off. Ariel, tell him I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
And I did it to her too. See, I'm going to have an excuse today because I am coming from my bed, not my hospital bed, but I'm coming from the bed. My brain's a little woozy. Oh my gosh, Jacob and Ariel, I knew they were going to be great. I knew it. I knew it. Every human is great, guys. I say this, I think, every week. Some of us do not understand our potential. Some of us do not give ourselves grace when we do stumble. Some of us also don't even understand the potential we have locked up inside of this. Yes, when you're younger, you do tend to use more of that creative juices before all the world pressures get to you. But I don't care what age you are. I'm challenging you all right now to do something good for yourself. Maybe read that book you used to love as a kid. Maybe draw that picture you've always wanted to do. Turn on that music you used to love. Do something good for you because you deserve it. You deserve it. We're going to end the show. We're going to pop over to William Rochelle's show if you're able to wind down with us afterwards. Be on deck next week. We have amazing people again. Guys, every week is amazing. And if you want to be a guest, you got to reach out soon because I'm booking into end of September and October right now. Thank you again, Jacob. Thank you, Ariel. We are out of here. Have a great night.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose Just Jacks and Guests. Jackie Hallberg has left the building. The category is prison reform. Prison reform. The category is diversity. The category is women's rights. Thank you for joining. We appreciate your company. Thank you for coming through. Just Jacks and Guests. The category is equal rights. The category is inclusivity. The category is second chances.
Thank you for coming through. We appreciate your company. Thank you for joining us today.